Okay, here are the graphs that you were given in problem number 12. Well, this is one of them. I got the other one right below it. So if this is f of x, I want to graph the inverse. And the inverse is a reflection along this line, y equals x. Okay. So I've graphed this line here for you, and I want to reflect it. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do this. Some people are good at just looking at it and reflecting it. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Some people actually need to take points and plot them out. So let me show you how to do that first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if I can find some values on here that I can see specifically exactly where they're at. So for example, let's take maybe, I don't know, it looks like if I go up vertically just from -1, looks like I would hit probably about up here. So I'm eyeballing it, right? Okay. So this means that -1, 5 is on the original function. The inverse, so if -1, 5 is on the original, the inverse must have 5 and -1. They swap spots. How we find the inverse is we take x and y and we switch spots. So that's what should happen here. So that means that 5 over down 1 should be a point on the graph. Okay, this would be a point, when I say on the graph, I mean on the inverse. Okay, then we take some other points. So we might grab, let's say, it looks like this guy's on the graph here at 0 and -1. So that must mean -1, 0 is also on the inverse. Okay, so you'd walk through and you would just keep doing this. Now, if you can visualize it, it's going to be a little bit easier. And all I'm expecting you to do is just get a general visualization of what that reflection looks like. So I'm going to take this piece by piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy right. Let's do it in a different color. Let's do it in a dark color. I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm going to reflect him. Okay. So when I reflect him along this black line, it's going to look something. It's not quite far enough, is it? Like this. Okay, that's the reflection of that purple line. Now the hard one here is this loop, to get this loop in there. Okay, so this point, which looks like it's at 2 over down -5, has got to be -5 up 2. So what that means is that this back guy's got to reflect over to here. Now any point that's already on the black line from the blue line has also got to be on the inverse as well, because they've got a cross there. So this is going to, let's see if I got this right. I went over 1, 2, down 5. I didn't quite get up 2 there, did I? So it just looks like it's just not quite high enough. Okay, so maybe like that. So this guy's gonna have to come back and sweep through. So I know that if I reflect this guy, it's gonna look like that. So that's the reflection. I'll do it in orange here. That's the reflection of this guy. So I just reflected that line. Another way to look at that, which I kind of like, is since this is the x-axis and I'm just a little bit to that side, I've got to be the same length over here to the the y-axis to the x-axis over on this side. And so now I'm just gonna kind of try to get, this is gonna be the bottom of the curve. Okay. This point over here looks like it's let's say 4 over. Steer the other way, so it's got to be. So this point right here reflects over to this point right here. So it looks something like that. Now it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Okay. So again, part of this also depends on the scaling, how you stretch the graph both vertically and horizontally. But this red line that I've got graphed in there, okay, that's roughly the look of the inverse, and you can smooth it out a little bit and try to make it look nicer if you want to, but it gives you a general idea of what the reflection of that graph should look like. So this red one is it's not the inverse of G, it's the inverse of F. Okay, there we go. Now let's look down here at G. So again, any point that's already crossing this black line and this blue line has got to also be on the inverse. So I need to go ahead and... Okay, you'll have to excuse me, my phone rang, so I'm trying to catch up where I left off. I was saying that this point right here has got to be a reflection, or it's got to be on the value, because we can't really reflect a point this hard in the line. So I need to reflect this guy down here. Okay, so let's reflect that guy. So that's going to look something, and this is not easy to do. Okay, so I know it's got to get close here. It's got to come back out. That didn't look good. Let's try again. You try to get as close as you can to this. So that looks pretty good right there. And then this looks like, so maybe more like this. Okay, close enough, right? Now this guy right here, I can really kind of do it in two pieces. So I know that when I reflect this guy along, he's going to have to be, I know, 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like about 4 over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like right about there. This is elongated further than this. This isn't going to quite, because it's stretched this way, so it's not going to look quite the same when I go ahead and do this reflection. But this guy, which is going to come up here, it's going to look like that. So this is going to come up like this. Okay, it's going to cross here and come up like that. So you try to make it as smooth as you can, guys. But there's my inverse function. So this, I would label this as the inverse of G, because this obviously is G.